Good evening, Sooner fans, Surgeaholics. Welcome back to the Sooner Surge live show. Appreciate you guys joining as always. Monty, Dalpo, see all you guys on here already. Monty, looks like you've been doing some yard work in this heat. That's never fun. I always like doing yard work right when the season starts, spring, grass is looking good. By August, I want to be done with the yard work. Same, Jeremy? You about feeling the same?
It's not difficult. You don't water it. In Oklahoma, it turns brown. It's not difficult.
I like to water mine. But hey, it's Sunday, another day closer to football. So it's exciting time. OU starts practice on Wednesday, July 31st. It'll be here before you know it. 3 more days, Jeremy. 2 more days, I guess, in between. So exciting.
Jay, you were right. It is Wednesday. Yep. What else is going on, Jay?
Sorry, I had my garage doors opening there. So
that's right.
What else is going on? I mean,
have you been watching the Olympics?
I have been watching the Olympics, and I'm going to say something about that. So I watched a little bit of it tonight, and I watched a little bit of the gymnastics. I think Simone Biles is unbelievable. I mean, you talk about athletic freak. She is. But I have a complaint about gymnastics. I don't know if you know where I'm going with this or not, Jeremy.
No, I do not. I think I do, but I'll hear it.
But to me, it's absolutely – we talk about rule changes all the time in football and baseball and basketball. Change the rules of the Olympic gymnastics, please. Please, change the rules. For them to only allow 2 members of one country to make the all-around competition is an absolute joke. I mean, the U.S. should have had at least 3 in there, and because they had 2 really good ones, the other one was right behind him. Jordan Childs did not make it. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous to take 24 athletes to the all-around competition finals. I don't understand that. I think that's silly. You're going to limit a country because they have so much. Why are you shaking your head?
We're talking of gymnastics when it's 32 days until Christmas?
I was just getting that off my chest. I think it's stupid.
As Chad said, is ready for some OU football. I don't care about the gymnastics of the Olympics.
I think it's kind of silly when these athletes train that much for something and they're going to put somebody above them that didn't get as good of a score because they've limited the amount from each country. That's like saying SEC only gets 2 teams in the playoff.
Don't compare gymnastics to SEC football. Turn your camera off and go back in your living room and watch it if you want.
How would you feel about that, though, Jeremy, if they limited the SEC?
My goodness.
I'm just saying. Whatever. We can move on.
No, I did watch
We'll move on. We'll move on. I don't care. You can bash me all you want. It's fine.
The synchronized diving was elite and was elite. Jay, 32 days. It just seems like that comment last week was 45 days, and it's down to 32. So it's going to be here very quickly. So Gary said he saw Burks working out. Wow. Yeah, that's maybe the most exciting thing is to see these guys practicing and see some of the gains they've made in the weight room, to see what they're doing, what they're going to do on the field, all those things. But you got to wait. Got to wait till Wednesday, till fall camp.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people are seeing people work out, seeing how good they look. I've said it for a while now. August 31st. I got to see it on the game time. We'll see.
That's not what you said. You said you got to wait till the 4th game.
Well, okay, but you know what that really brought up to me when I saw Deion Burks working out is, do you think he's playing the first game?
Jay, I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to know.
Yeah, real quick, I want to say something. Gary, right before the live, you put some stuff in the Discord. It is a good article. Here's what I want to say. Go ahead and set your schedule. Probably for Thursday night is what it's looking like. But we're going to talk NIL all night on Thursday night because we're going to have a special guest on that will lay it out for you, okay? So make sure you're tuning in on Thursday. It's going to be great talking about the new rulings, all of it to put it in terms that we can understand. So I promise you will not want to miss it Thursday night. And by the way, I think possibly we may be going on a little earlier at 9. We'll see. We'll keep posting on all that as that gets closer.
Monty, I don't think there's going to be anyone putting video of practices on YouTube. The only way you're going to see something would be through the OU football Twitter page. They'll post occasional videos from practices once they begin, little music video clips. That's really where you're going to find it out.
Yeah, you'll get some media access, some practice for the first maybe 30 minutes of practice. A lot of times they do that or more. And you'll get some clips on Twitter if you have to, or X or whatever. But that'll be about it probably. So
Jay,
I watched a little bit of the Alamo Bowl today, Jeremy. A little bit of the Arizona OU game.
And what'd you think?
So
what'd you think?
Very disappointed in the start of that game. Just, you know.
Did you watch that?
Here's what I thought watching it. The offensive line that they threw out there that game was pretty bad. I mean,
still got 600 yards.
I know. I'm just saying it was not the best line out there for the offensive line. And so
I've got a question, Jay, because I've seen the video clips. I've seen pictures from Media Day. I've got to ask you, and it's kind of it's the one that people ask all the time. This question will be asked, it will be answered, and we'll never know until maybe we see it actually happen. Is Caden Helms going to play?
Jeremy, I don't think anybody knows that answer.
Like, what is holding him back?
I don't think anybody knows.
It's weird.
What's that?
It's weird. He's massive.
Injured. He's been injured. Why is that weird?
I'm not talking about in the past. I know he's been injured. I haven't heard that he's still injured, Jay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think
if he's not injured, doesn't he have to be one of the best tight ends on campus?
Let me ask this question. Two things I want to get to. First, yeah, that's right. TikTok looks great. Hey, Mess, couple of things. I mentioned it earlier. I think it'd be great if you could, and maybe we'll do this on first part of this week, but I want questions, anything you want to ask for the show on Thursday night. If you got something specific, I know it'll be on the show. You can ask it, but sometimes ahead of time, if you got some great questions, send them our way. But here's what I'm going to say. I would be I don't know if the word is disappointed, but I think that might be the word. I will be very disappointed, I think, if Jaden Gibson does not start game 1.
Well, he's got to, Jay. Who's going to start over him?
That's what I'm saying.
Angel, Anthony, and Jalil Farouk, according to BV, are going to start practicing the practices leading up to game 1. They're not going to be playing in game 1.
That's what I'm saying. So I think we could all sit here. Gary, that's a great for the unlimited members posted in the Discord. I think a great thing. I mean, I think we can sit here and say on July 8th. I think Nick Anderson, Deion Burks, and Jaden Gibson. I mean, I think it's a pretty high probability that those are your starters game 1, right? I don't see it being any different. Do you?
No, it's going to be that, and then as Anthony and Farouk heal up, Brendan Thompson. So you're going to go about 7 deep. But I'm talking about tight end, Jay.
I get it, but what I wanted to finish saying on Gibson. If Gibson plays well, is he going to lose that role?
Jay, Farouk's not going to take it. He's a slot guy.
Do you think if Gibson plays well before Anthony gets back, that he just keeps that role?
Absolutely.
I kind of think so, too. I think it's all in his plate now. You know, he's got to.
It's on his plate, and he's got to eat. Hey, Jay. What about Caden Helms, though? All right, what was he out of high school, Jay? What was he out of high school?
4-star tight end. Let's just say this. You got Bauer Sharp as your starter. I honestly do not know what they're getting in Jake Roberts at all. I have no clue. And I'm sitting here thinking on July 20th, I don't know what they're getting in Caden Helms. Haven't seen him play. So right now you have Bauer Sharp and 2 guys that you're not sure of, and then another guy, Devon Mitchell, who is 18, 19 years old, that I don't see him playing a ton. So I do think that other than Bauer Sharp, this is a room that I think a lot of Sooner fans might be, I don't know if questioning is the word, but you are wondering what they really have at that tight end position, right?
Yeah, and I don't really care if he played tight end in high school. He's a tight end at OU. He's a tight end. He's a big body. He's got speed. He was a 4-star. If he's not hurt, what is holding him back? That's my question. Now, Chief T-Bird disagrees. He thinks Andrew Anthony will be the starter if healthy. But
that's possible.
The
big question is, how does he come back from the injury? How healthy would he be? That's the question.
According to BV, Chief T-Bird, he's going to start practices the week leading up to the first game, which tells me he's not going to play against Temple, if you have to kind of read between the lines.
Yeah, but when he gets back is what Chief T-Bird said.
But if Jaden Gibson goes out and gets 8 catches for 150 yards and 3 tutties, are you just saying, see ya? I doubt it.
No, I think Andrew Anthony's too good of a player to not get a lot of playing time if he's healthy. He's going to play a ton.
I do not want to step on anyone's toes here.
I know what you're going to say because I was probably thinking this watching the Arizona game, but go ahead.
I'm going to say the same thing here that I've said with DG. Drake Stoops was a rock star. He was absolutely phenomenal. He had hands that no other receiver had. He made catches. He made tough catches. He held on to the ball. He got racked all the time, just hammered, and he got up talking trash. He's the epitome of a leader on this team. But some of these other guys are going to have more talent. They're going to have more speed. They're going to have more size. That does not translate to being a better college football player, but it does give them the ability to be a better college football player. Is any of that wrong, what I just said?
I don't think anything's inaccurate. I do think this. I do think that Stoops made very tough catches with guys draped over him all the time. Now, is he a guy that you're going to throw a jump ball to, size-wise?
No.
So I do think. I mean, here's what I mean. Wes Welker to me in the NFL was above average. But Wes Welker was still, you put him up against some of the NFL talent, he wasn't there. And look what he did in the NFL. I think it just depends on how you're using Stoops. But nothing you said is inaccurate, Jeremy.
Hey, Bobby says Stoops was average. I disagree with that. Maybe talent-wise, but he was above average college player. I don't know what the confusion was about fall ball, Jay. We originally said Wednesday, and people were saying it's Monday. It's not Monday.
Who said there was confusion?
Well, last night we said Wednesday, and people were like, no, it starts Monday. It doesn't start tomorrow.
I've said all along it started July 31st. I don't know what you're
right, but last night they were saying it was Monday.
I don't know
where they heard
who was saying. I was telling you what I was saying. July 31st. I don't know what the big deal is.
There is no deal. I love Drake Stoops.
I would take him any day too. I think what Jeremy's saying is they have other guys that are more talented. I mean,
yeah, it doesn't mean they're better
just
players.
like Dylan Gabriel. Jackson Arnold's more talented than Dylan Gabriel. Fact. Wake up. I mean, that's true.
That's good comparison, Chief. And Quentin Griffin, they won a natty with him as a starting running back.
That's a great question by Michael. Who's number 2 in the slot?
Farouk, probably.
Farouk, and I think another guy to keep your eye on is Petaway. I think Petaway's the guy to keep your eye on.
Yes, Bobby. Drake Stoops was an above-average college receiver. Yes, I said it. I don't care what you say. He was above-average college receiver.
Here we go again. That all depends on what's average and what's above.
I agree. It does, Jay.
Did you say who does number 2 work for? I don't know.
I'm just saying, was Josh Heupel an above-average college quarterback? Yes. He wasn't a pro.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you define that. But
I'm never a fan.
Here's what
I
absolutely do not like the 2 quarterback system. In fact, somebody get on there and tell me when it's worked. Tell me when it's worked.
Didn't a team win a natty doing that?
Tell me when. I'm asking.
I thought Florida did. I can't remember the guys they had.
Natty? Tebow was the quarterback, Jeremy.
Who was the guy after Tebow that came in? They had
They
two
tried
guys.
it with Anthony Richardson and another guy.
No, it wasn't that. Wasn't that? Yeah, Michael said Florida too. That's what I was thinking. What was his name?
I don't know. I don't know if it worked that well, did it?
It worked pretty well, if I remember.
I can't think of a team that just had two quarterbacks that have played really a lot both times and they did good. Kenneth says it worked at Florida too. Give me a name. I don't know the names.
Hey, Bobby.
That doesn't count, Gray God, because they won. They were benching. It's not like they were using them both.
Bobby, a homer take to say Dylan Gabriel. Well, a homer take to say Drake Stoops is an above-average college receiver. It's absolutely not a homer take. Okay. Obviously, I guess you didn't hear what I said. I didn't say he's the most talented receiver. If you're going to sit here and say he didn't have a phenomenal year, that's it. Chris Leak.
Yeah, Chris Leak. But what did they do?
I don't remember their record, Jay.
That's what I'm saying. Did it work?
I don't remember their record. Med says, let's talk about the 2024 stud talent. Is there an update on? I can't comment because I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I can't either. Hey, talking about the talent, I was watching that bowl game. OU played 3-down linemen a ton that game. At least for what I watched tonight, I watched the first quarter. They were almost strictly in 3-down linemen on defense, which you got way more talent than you had last year on the down line. It's not even close. So I'm interested to see what percentage of 3-down linemen they go with. How many times they go with three down front. I'm interested to see it.
McCarthy, McNamara, you had Blake Bell. We know that when I wasn't a fan.
Hey, in watching that game, you know the guy last year? Wait.
Yeah.
Tebow and Chris Leak, they won the national championship. Did Chris Leak play against Oklahoma?
No.
Did Tebow win more than one national championship?
Again, I don't follow the Florida Gators, Jay.
I don't think they won back-to-back with Tebow.
I thought Chris Leak got benched, but
yeah, that's why I'm kind of.
I'm curious, people in the chat, if you think that Drake Stoops just had an average year last year. Jay, do you think it was average?
No, Drake Stoops had a really good year last year. But I do think that the offense catered toward him, DG catered towards him to give him a lot of yards. Does that take away from what he did? No, he was great.
He had a great year.
So y'all are saying that Chris Leak and Tim Tebow, they both played in that national championship season in that game. I did not know that. So, yeah, but what I'm asking, I see that. That's what I know, but how much did they play down the stretch together? Did it work or did they bench Leak?
I thought they benched Leak, Jay, but again, I haven't followed it. Greg God, if Drake Stoops last year was average for a Power 4 conference wide receiver, tell me, I want you to name 5 people from other teams that had above average, that were way better than him. I'm confused on the average part.
Matt said they did. Listen, if they benched Leak and played Tebow, that's not a 2-quarterback system that worked, in my opinion. But Bobby says Leak was not benched. Here we go. I guess I need to go watch.
Hey, Bobby, I want you to just drop in the chat some of the big-time 1,000-yard receivers last year. I'm not saying he's one of the greats last year. He was OU's most reliable receiver. That's a fact.
That's all I meant by great. Is he carried on receiver-wise for Oklahoma? He was their best receiver if you look at stat-wise, was he not? Now, I think a lot of that was due to Andre Anthony went down, and also DG threw it to Drake Stoops a ton. That's a fact, Bobby. You're right on that.
Cardell Jones came in and won them. He was like the third string that 1 year came in and won him a natty.
Yeah, both those were coached by Urban Meyer, were they not? Both those teams?
Correct.
All right, let's move on.
Jason said reliable. I said it was above average. No one can sit here and tell me that Drake Stoops was an average receiver last year. That is ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous to say he was average last year. Like, seriously.
Yeah, Jeremy, I think it's the way you opened up this segment with that. I think it kind of.
I didn't open up a segment.
Kind of lent its hand to this. I mean,
Bobby said he was average. He wasn't average last year.
All right, let's move on off that. Let's move off. I'm not going to say he's a Blitnikoff winner, but he was above average. Stoops, as Trap House says.
Hey, Trap House. Do you think Stoops was just average? Because I don't. I thought he was above average.
33 players isn't that many, but
that's above average. 33 receivers had 1,000 plus yards last year. Out of how many receivers? We talking about 3,000? That's way above average. Thank you, Bobby.
Moving on.
Wow. 33 had more than him? Oh, man. Just average.
Here's the fact. You want to go talent-wise? I mean, yeah, there's people more talented. I mean, we've already talked.
Heck yeah, there's people more talented. It's not the argument. Hey, first off, Grey Dog, don't call me a homer because I'm not a homer. I'm not going to sit here and be a homer, but you're absolutely wrong. As a number one target, he was not the number one receiver on this team. He was the number one target, okay? He is not an average receiver at the University of Oklahoma. If you want to say average talent, I'll agree with you. He was above average player. Don't call me a homer because I said Drake Stoops is above average. I am not a homer right now, Bobby. Absolutely not a homer.
Oh, boy, here we go. No Simpson. Yeah, I think it's still – I don't know why we're arguing it, too.
Yeah, I shouldn't have got so fired up on it, Jay.
Yeah, I agree with that mess. I think DG was – Drake Stoops was like a tight end to DG. So he was kind of his safety valve. He threw it to him all the time. Craig's asking, does OU starting O-line have most college snaps in SEC? I'd have to look up for sure. I do think that I did see something when they have a lot of starts, but here's the thing. They've never started at OU. That's the thing I don't like. I don't think you can look at that stat as really a good stat because, yeah, you get experienced guys from all over the college on transfer portal. They have not played at Oklahoma and they have not played together. I think personally that doesn't mean a whole lot offensive line-wise in the chemistry thing. So,
hey, Fabechi, Hickman, those two guys alone, look at the starts they've had. I mean,
no, they've had guys with a lot of starts. Hey, I need to get to trivia. I didn't realize we're already 23 minutes in.
Bring the trivia. Bring it.
Hey, check out FanStop, www.thefanstop.com. Check them out, officially licensed OU gear, as well as other school gear. If you're interested in other universities, they got a lot of them. Check them out. Get there, use code SURGE, 10% off your first 3 months. Here we go with the trivia tonight. This one's going to be fast. Be ready. I just want to know, in the Alamo Bowl last year, who got the first catch from Jackson Arnold? Who caught the first pass from Jackson Arnold in last year's Alamo Bowl?
This should be very quick. And obviously, Bobby didn't hear what I said, so. Was not Farouk. Was not Sawchuk.
Not Sawchuk. Not guy from Arizona. We're not counting that one, Ron.
There it is.
Chief T-Bird, Nick Anderson. You know what we're going to do, though? We're going to give a point to Chief T-Bird, Jeremy. We're also going to give a point to Ron because actually the first pass was an interception, the first catch. But we'll give them both a point. Nick Anderson,
so Ron
Chief
and
Chief T-Bird and Ron
T-Bird tonight.
And
getting your name.
Stoops was the first target. But
getting your name on the random wheel generator for the OU Houston tickets, courtesy of the Fan Stop. Great seats for the OU Houston game. That drawing, that wheel will be spun on August 16th, and we'll see who wins. But Bobby, again, the last thing I'm going to say about this argument, because it is
oh
stupid.
My gosh, here we go. Why?
Is
I'm just let things. You can't let things die.
I'm making sure Bobby understood what I said.
Oh, please.
First off, I never claimed that Drake Stoops was a first round, second round, whatever, all the picks. He didn't get drafted. I didn't say we're talking about above average talent. I said above average college football player, and he was. Period. Next.
You done?
Jay, I saw Danny Okoye on Media Day, and I'm curious if he's going to get some reps.
Yes, he will. I think so.
In big games?
I don't know, Jeremy. It's July 28th. How would I know that? I have no clue.
Yeah.
What's up, Jackson? How's Colorado treating you? I bet it's great because I bet it's cooler weather.
Jackson's just a traveling man.
Traveling man. That's right, Jackson. That is right. Hey, updated prediction on Fasusi.
I'm up to 56%.
I'm 55%. 55% is what I'm.
I went from 48 to 52 to 56.
It's going to be 95% by August 20th first.
It's trending upward.
I'm at 55. I'm going to stay there. I'm not changing. That's why I'm not changing it until August 21st. No matter what I hear, no matter what I see, I'm sticking at 55%.
Any news? Any news on it, Jay?
Not much news. Here's the thing: you got Texas A&M, and Oklahoma, 3-team battle, and that's probably why Bobby put 33%. That's why Greg got put 33%. Here's the thing: I don't think anybody knows right now between those three schools. I think it's going to come down to August 20th, maybe at 11 p.m. Make his decision, final decision, and then I don't think there's any news up till then. And I would not even, if somebody comes out and says Oklahoma looks very good in this situation, they're gonna pull him. I would still say I don't count on anything to August 21st. Those three teams are all at play till August 21st when he commits. I don't think it's going to change. I don't care what you hear from Will Fong, anybody. 33% is what they're saying. I'm saying 55 because I do think I have a good feeling they're going to land him, but I could see the 33% because I think it's totally up in there between three schools.
Chief says, if you're the OC, what skill players would be your starters? Any offense you want to run, pick your personnel package. Are you talking about current OU players? Are you talking about all-time OU players? Curious which one.
Yeah, I'm curious on that too.
Would you go the wishbone, Jay?
Best play caller in college football. I know
Lincoln Riley.
Hear this? Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley's the best.
I think Lincoln Riley, if you want a guy just to put a headset on and call an offense, I think he's the best one out there. I do.
Agreed.
If he's purely the offensive guy calling plays, I think he is the best one. I know Sooner fans may hate that, but I think he is. And I don't really question. I think it's Lincoln Riley, and then I think it's another level before you get to other guys. And you know what I'm tired of hearing about? I'm tired of hearing about people just really Ryan Day and how good of a play caller he is. I don't think Ryan Day's that great. I think he's good, but when he gets in big times, I don't think he calls great games.
He's one of the better ones in the country, but I'm not going to put him on Lincoln Riley's level.
That's what I said.
Chief was talking about current roster. Well, I hope they're going to play the best players in the offense they have now, but are you saying scheme-wise, would you go to a wishbone with this group and run a running quarterback? Maybe that's the question.
No, I wouldn't. I would. I like the spread. Everybody does spread for the most part. You know, the good offensive coordinators that I would put up with against a bunch of people.
Who's that?
Would be Kevin Wilson. And I think if Ohio State would have let Kevin Wilson call plays under Ryan Day when he was there, I think they would have won a national championship. I think Ryan Day limited Kevin Wilson. I really do.
I agree with that.
Now, I know he's at TU, but I'm just saying he's a really good offensive mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Will Stein's really good too, Bobby. Hey, Oregon's lost a few guys recently. They lost the tight end in the Tennessee, recruit just today, I believe. So
TU is going to be much improved. I don't have them as the group of 5 team getting in the playoff, but I was close to picking them maybe losing 1 or 2 games. Chester wanted the go-go offense. Jay.
Yeah, Brendan Marion's a good mind too. But I do think Lincoln Riley, I mean, top five OCs right now as pure OCs. Who would you go with? In the chat, who would you go with? Top five. I think top five. You're gonna have Lincoln Riley. You're probably gonna have Ryan Day. You're just gonna. What about Lincoln Riley's brother? Do you think anybody will say that?
He was good, but he didn't have a great year last year.
I think people will say Will Stein. What about Heupel?
He sure has improved, I'll say that.
What about Levy?
Lane Kiffin may be up there.
What about Levy? Is he a top 5 OC?
The offense he had was top 5.
Josh Heupel or Levy?
I wouldn't have Levy
Josh
in my
Heupel
top
or
5.
Levy? Josh Heupel or Levy? Who would you take?
Strictly to run an offense, I would take Jeff Levy.
Lane Kiffin or Levy?
I mean, if Lane Kiffin is only an OC, I'm taking Lane Kiffin.
I agree. If Lane Kiffin was just an OC calling plays, what about Steve Sarkisian? We haven't mentioned the name.
No, and Mike Leach has to be on the list.
Mike Leach, he would have been, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying of all time play callers, Mike Leach is
Oh, yeah, 100%. All these guys we're talking about were proteges, a lot of them.
Exactly.
I do think Sark's a really good offensive mind. I do.
Hey, you're right. Art Briles. Art Briles is good.
He was good. Yeah, little brother at Clemson. I'm interested to see Clemson. We weren't talking all the time, though, Jeremy. I'm interested to see Clemson with Riley there another year to see how they do. They had a good, Klubnik. We'll see. We'll see.
Kansas had a good OC.
Bobby says Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly, Will Stein.
No, it could be Chip Kelly.
Petrino Flood.
I think he means Chip Kelly.
Could be Chip Kelly, yeah.
Jay, who was the guy at Liberty?
Gosh, I'm just drawing a blank. It'll come to me. I wanted him.
I think the Liberty guy.
He's really good. I cannot think of his name right now. Chip Kelly. Gosh, I drew a blank on that guy's name.
Yeah. Hey, again, everyone that's on here, Thursday night we're looking at. It's going to be strictly devoted to NIL, among some other things, because we're going to have a very special guest on that is in the know of all the NIL stuff. And we're looking at Thursday night for that. Stay tuned in case we change the time and move it up a little. But also, fall camp begins this week. It was Chadwell. There it is.
No, that's not the OC that I'm talking about.
From Liberty?
It's not the OC.
He was the head coach at Liberty.
Head coach. I'm talking about the OC.
Started Corn, Willie Corn, I think.
Corn. Thank you, Corn.
Yeah, I got it, yeah. Also, fall camp starts this week. There's going to be a lot to talk about as we get later in this week. So make sure you're tuned in. Sorry for getting so fired up earlier. I just had to. So I apologize for that. We'll see everybody tomorrow night. Cannot wait to chat it again. Boomer.